What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another live stream edition of You Oughta Know with Tombstone Jesus and
Hell yeah.
Otto Von Clutch. And today we have a very, very special guest. That is right. None other than Knokx Pro graduate and alumni. We have Syko Stu.
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
Great to see you again, Stu. You're looking good, brother.
Always, always. Glad to see
I see
you.
you
Glad
got
to see
the
you.
side
Thank
by
you for
side
having me.
right behind you, ready to roll.
That's right. We're always ready to hit the trails.
That's it, man. Well, Stu, thank you so much for coming on tonight. We're going to start this off by basically just asking you, my man, like, what is your first memory of professional wrestling, when you were growing up?
Oh, man. It's crazy because, I remember friends of mine talking about Jake the Snake Roberts and Hulk Hogan and all that, but I was never really big into wrestling growing up. It wasn't until I was in the military that, a buddy of mine was like, hey, man, you need to sit down and watch this, and I was like, oh, man, come on. And he goes, no, just sit down and watch it. And it was during the whole invasion storyline. And, I mean, hook, line, and sinker, it got me. And ever since then, I've been a big fan, and, I've been blessed to do this for 15 years.
So were you overseas, Stu, when you became a fan?
I had just got back from Korea, and I was stationed at Fort Hood.
Wow. Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Stu, so much for your service, bro. We really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
I kind of wanted to dip into this question later, but let's just go for it right now. Any memories when WWE or maybe even WWF at the time when they actually came to the Army base in the barracks that you were at?
Oh, man. So this is actually a really funny story. Okay. So the first year we were there, they didn't come to my base, right? So couldn't go. They were, I want to say they were in Baghdad and I was in Tikrit. And so the second time I went over there, they were coming to Balad Air Base, and that's where I was stationed at. So I was like, oh, man, we got to go. Well, I got assigned a mission that morning, and I was like, oh, man, I really want to go, like try to get somebody to switch missions with me. Didn't work. And so I ended up, we had to move, I want to say it was like 40 something containers, right, throughout the yards. And so I had two guys working with me, and, I was the supervisor in charge. So, I was kind of directing them where to go and where to put them and whatnot. And let me tell you, anything that could have went wrong that day went wrong that day. Okay. And so I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I got somewhere I want to go, but it ended up like something happened. I don't remember exactly, but I want to say that there was a high alert or something like that, and WWE couldn't make it to our base. So I didn't miss the show, but it kind of took a little bit out of my sails there because I was like, oh man, like I was really looking forward to it.
Man, so they never showed up? No,
something happened and they canceled the show at the Balad Air Base that year. I want to say that was 07 to 08, something like that.
Oh, wow.
That's wild. So now, I just wanted to ask you that real quick before we continued. But so now basically kind of walk me through, your training and, how you came about Knokx Pro Entertainment and how you joined the wrestling school. And I don't think, if just to let our viewers know, Syko Stu was trained and is still being trained under Rikishi, the Count of California Black Pearl, and then he was also trained under Gangrel, and I also believe Orlando Jordan.
Yep, Orlando Jordan also.
So under that learning tree, Stu, and how is it still to this day to continue? It's
pretty funny because I got back, I got out of the military and I came back to California, because that's where my family's from. And so I was at SummerSlam, 2009, SummerSlam of 2009. It was at the Staples Center, now the Crypto Arena. But I met a guy who told me about a wrestling school, and it was ran by Rikishi, Gangrel, and Black Pearl and Orlando Jordan. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to check it out. So I got home and I went on the website and, looked at it and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. It was based out of Burbank at the time. And so I ended up putting my information in to get more information on it, find out when the practices were, when the tryouts were, whatever information I could get. And then next thing I know, I'm getting a phone call from Gangrel. And he's like, basically, he basically said, hey, practices are on Saturday. Show up, black T-shirt, black shorts, running shoes, yada, yada, yada. And then, so I went and, I was like kind of a little bit shy. I was like, oh, I really don't know what to expect, blah, blah, blah. And so I show up and first person I meet was Gangrel. And,
let me tell you, he is one of the most intimidating people. When you first meet him, he's so grizzled and just so much experience. He just like, man, one of those guys that just walk on eggshells when you are around him. But he is actually one of the most genuinely nice people you'll ever meet. But yes.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, so he was one of the first guys I met, and then I met Reno, the Black Pearl, and it was so comfortable. I could feel the comfortability in that building. So that day I signed the contract, and I've been with Knokx Pro ever since. And that was 15 years ago. We're going on 15 years.
Wow. Hell yeah.
And
hey, we got
how can I help you?
We got SoCal Fan 1990.
Awesome. Yeah, let's see what we got. A couple questions. You're saying here's our first question. It looks like from
Tuning to Sirius XM channel 90.
Watched you wrestle at the Dome in Bakersfield. You had a match with Dark Sheik.
The shopping cart match. I remember that. That's one of my favorite matches. That's one of my favorite matches of all time.
Dude,
I do remember that match.
So, Tombstone, to give you a little picture, the venue is called the Dome. It's really probably one of the most famous wrestling venues in Southern California for sure. It got tore down. They tore it down. Andre the Giant had matches there. The Guerreros.
Wow.
Just tons of lineage and history at this venue. So Knokx Pro put on a show there in Bakersfield. And, man, it was an epic show. It was a lot of fun. And Stu did have a match with Dark Sheik. And fuck, Stu.
That was such a great match. I remember it really, really well. Because, honestly, I want to say we were the last ones to wrestle in the Dome before it got torn down. I could be wrong, but I want to say that we were the last ones to wrestle in the Dome.
Wrong. There was one other company that came in right before it got tore down. I believe it was Billy Blake, something like that.
Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, I remember that, and it was one of the. It was a Make-A-Wish show too for Darren. I can't remember his last name, but this young man had cancer, and so it was a Make-A-Wish show for him. Matt B, the late Matt B, set up, and man,
that's
doing
awesome.
shows like that, it was so cool.
Oh, that's awesome! A Make-A-Wish, that's sweet.
No, it was a special time, and just to actually jump off of you talking about Make-A-Wish and that great organization, When I actually first got introduced to Knokx Pro, the very first show I ever went to was actually a Make-A-Wish show for Popcorn. I believe they call it Pop. And
yeah, CJ, yeah, I remember that one too.
That was very moving, Tombstone. It was the show that, this terminally ill child basically got to live a life as a wrestler with another Knokx Pro student. And, I wasn't even a student yet or a worker. I was still just a fan in the audience. But it was very moving. And around that time, Stu, I think you had like a ladder match, too, that I watched, too.
Oh, yeah. No, I think it was, I want to say it was Ricky and Maverick that had the ladder match.
Was it?
But,
okay.
Yeah, but we were, I want to say I had a match with, I can't remember.
Bro, do you remember that match with Gangrel and Mayhem? Dude, I was a fan.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I was not a worker yet, and Gangrel beat the shit out of Mayhem.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, bottom line, what we were trying to say is Knokx Pro and the Make-A-Wish Foundation was actually a really awesome, situation. Okay, we have the Royal Hawaiian saying aloha, guys.
What's up? How you doing?
Aloha. Also, I'm happy you guys are on. Stu, met you and Otto at Placerville originally. You whipped Otto's ass. What the heck?
Oh man, I remember that match pretty good too. Actually,
where's Placerville, guys? Where's Placerville? Help me out with this.
It's up in Northern California.
Northern California, bro.
This was the flyer for that one.
Oh hell yeah!
I think Placerville was right here, El Dorado Fairgrounds.
That was a fun night. So
that was a blast. That was a blast.
That was a blast. Kelby, hello. What's up, my man?
What's up, Kelby?
Kelby. See you, brother. Kelby Klein.
All right, here. So let's go real quick. What's the most valuable lesson and advice that you could tell upcoming wrestlers? And really, what's some of the most valuable advice that Knokx Pro has given you feel?
One of the most valuable things I can say is find a good school. I know that's very cliche. Everybody says it, but
it's true.
I cannot stress enough. If you get trained bad, then your work is going to be bad. And, then you're putting other people's lives in jeopardy. And it's just a good school. That's the way to go about it. And some of what was the second part? The most valuable information that I got. Take your time and slow down. It's not a sprint, but take in the moment. The fans around you. That's how you learn. That's how you get better. So take all that in, embrace it.
Well said, brother.
So
well said.
How was it when you had the opportunity to be a part of the cast of the Adam Sandler film that is on Netflix, Sandy Wexler? How was that? How was it like the Adam Sandler production, my man?
Oh man, that was honestly that was so much fun. So we filmed for 2 days at the Forum out there in Inglewood, and it just being, and that was my first movie set. So just being on set and seeing how everybody worked and how the production was, it was amazing. It was really eye-opening too. How did that compare
to a wrestling promotion or production? night and day, or
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, in wrestling, we get one take to do a match. You know, back there, you know, you do 2 or 3 takes. You know, a couple. You know,
that's why it's
but
called a take, as many as it takes.
exactly. But yeah, I mean, it was so much fun because, you know, like we did train with some of the guys. Terry Crews was the one of the guys that we trained with, and
Oh
the
yeah.
late Shad Gaspard. You know, he trained with us, and I mean, me and Shad Gaspard, we ran into each other a couple different times down the road. You know, on a couple different cards, and it was really cool for him to remember who I was just from that. You know, just
Yeah.
like, you know, Sin Bodhi, you know, I've run into him a few times on a couple different shows, and you know, he absolutely the nicest guy. So
So I guess to
You
kind of feed
wrestled
off
him once.
the question, how would you compare, you know, being on the set of Adam Sandler for the 2 days to like when you were on set as a WWE extra for 4 days? How was like comparison of that? Was there any comparison at all?
um
Not really.
you know, there was at WWE, you know, we did we got a lot of knowledge, you know, from Paul Heyman, X Pac. You know, they sat there and talked to us for hours, you know, and they
Wow.
didn't need to do that, but just giving out that information made us so much better. Um, as far as the movie set versus, you know, like the movie set was more like, all right, we're gonna come in and shoot this scene, and then we're gonna move on to the next thing, you know, and then being backstage at WWE and AEW, you know, it was like you're kind of listening to other people talk and call matches, or, you know, talk about this and talk about promo, and you know, it's just the knowledge that you soak up. It's like when we tell our new students, you know, you come in, be a sponge, listen to what everybody is talking about, listen to the way they talk, listen to how they talk, you know, and then like that's how you're gonna learn. So
Absolutely. And you're going to be wrestling next weekend, right, in Brawley?
yeah, next weekend we're gonna be down in Brawley with
That's
Knokx Pro.
probably what the 4th or 5th time that gone down there.
Seventh now.
Dang, I've been down there twice, and that's a journey to get down to Brawley. That's down by the Mexico border, kind of by like
Yep.
yeah,
El
it's
Centro, yeah.
you're basically by like the Salton Sea and
Yep.
down there. So tickets for that are at knoxpro.com, I imagine, correct?
Yes, you can go to knoxpro.com. You can go to my Facebook, Instagram pages. You know, the link is there. So
How do you think the independent wrestling scene has changed since you started, Stu?
you know, I think people are starting to come out a lot more. You know, when I first started, I really didn't venture out into the scene much. You know, I was strictly Knokx Pro. But you know, working with a couple different federations, EWF, Destination 6, Valor Pro Wrestling. You know, I've been working with them a few times, and you know, it's nice to interact with other wrestlers and different crowds and stuff like that. So it's good to see the fans coming out, and I don't know if they did that before. So
Nice. Those crowds pretty good down in Brawley.
Bro,
yeah, we usually get a pretty decent crowd out there.
yes.
Awesome.
You know, you go to towns like Brawley or Pahrump or even Barstow or Bakersfield or Fresno or
Mhm.
Salt Lake City, South Jordan, places all around Texas. these fans are just so happy to be entertained, so happy just to have, you know, a little bit of our time to be there. And I mean, one thing that stands out is I remember when we did the Brawley show, the night before China passed away, and I remember we did like a 10 bell salute.
Yep. Yeah, I do remember that one. Yeah.
Wow.
That's one place I would love to go wrestle at, though, is South Jordan, Utah. Yeah, that would be so much fun.
Well, we can make that definitely happen for you, Stu. I mean, you
all right.
I spoke with the promoter today on the phone, actually.
How's he doing? Let's talk about that, Tim. How's he doing?
He's doing good. He's asking me about June show, if I'll be healthy for that. And he actually, when I was in the hospital and they were like restarting my heart, right before they did that, I looked over at my phone and he's messaging me, "How's your neck?" And I hadn't talked to him since. So I got to catch up with him. He's great promoter, Darren out of STF. And I warned him, I told him, "Hey, you're probably going to have to come on our podcast pretty soon." And he said, "Hell yeah."
Absolutely.
But
so
yeah.
The Royal Hawaiian is just saying, "Hey, Stu, so nice to see you at Knokx Pro in December in Pomona. Always love watching Stu wrestle."
Oh, thank you so much. It was great to see you also. You know, I love running into you at all the shows, or, you know, just every once in a while, you know, we just kind of catch up, and it's so awesome, you know.
Isn't she a sweetheart?
Yeah, definitely.
Aloha, guys. And then, hey, AJ. I don't know who AJ is, but what's up, AJ? Whoever AJ is.
What's up, AJ?
So,
AJ.
Stu, real quick before we wrap things up in this last 10 minutes, is there anything like has been going on that you like to promote or talk about? And what's going on? What's really new in your life?
You know, honestly, like, so we got a few things coming. You know, Knokx Pro has a lot coming up in the near future. So stay tuned for that. You know, make sure that you follow me on Instagram and Facebook, because we're going to be posting all that information in the coming weeks.
Nice.
I got a couple of movies getting ready to start filming, so that's going to be fun.
Movies. Tell me about them, bro. Tell me about them.
So I mean, it's still in the pre-production, but we do have one in the works with Double Six Ranch. It's a horse ranch out here in Apple Valley.
Okay.
So we got that coming up. We can't really talk too much about it right now, but yeah, it's going to be coming up, and you know, once it starts happening, we're definitely going to be letting people know about it.
That's good stuff there, buddy.
Yeah.
Right next door, huh?
Oh, absolutely. And actually, Valor Pro Wrestling, another company that I work with a lot, they're going to be running shows out of that ranch. So
nice.
yeah, definitely come and check it out. You know, if you're in the high desert area, or if you want to travel up to the high desert area, you want to see some horses, you want to see some wrestling, come on out. Make sure you follow me, and then, you know, we'll get you taken care of.
Absolutely.
That sounds like a hell of a time, man.
So, bro, remember this cat right here? He was from
absolutely
from
Maurice
Productions. He's actually gone on to really do a lot of big things with his podcast. Two OGs of my podcast. Coke back on, not the Coke. He means come back on. Everybody. Also, Father and Son podcast.
Over.
Okay.
I'll tell you, Maurice, I'd love to get back on your podcast, and we'd be honored to have you on ours.
Now, I don't know why you have to say we would be honored, because we haven't even talked about it yet, Pop. And I would be honored to be back.
You got to keep me in check like always, Junior.
Always, my man. So, Stu, I just again, bro, thank you so much for your service, bro.
Thank you.
A really interesting story that you have, considering, you know, you really weren't a big wrestling fan as a child, but then, you know, you were introduced to it in your, you know, your late teens, and now here you are, you know, been wrestling for 15 years. I think it's a very cool thing, and we really just appreciate everything that you do, man. And so basically, you're going to be wrestling in Brawley next month, and then when is the next?
No, next weekend. Next weekend. Yeah.
Next weekend, Raleigh.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then where are you going to be wrestling at after that?
So we got Brawley next weekend, and then in 2 weeks I'll be wrestling up here at the Double Six Ranch, and then we're gonna be going to the Pomona, the Derby Room, the Pomona Fairgrounds.
Nice.
So Knokx Pro will be over there. We're gonna do our steel cage matches over there. So
Right on.
yeah.
Tombstone, you have any thoughts for Syko Stu?
Oh, I just love you, Stu. I had a great time when I came out there. I got to do one of my infamous woodshed promos in your backyard where the woodshed still is, and I still need to take Otto back behind it. And not to mention, me and you and Otto and Maverick actually had a really great match that the world, I guess, was never meant to see. But I had a really good time working with you that time. And
that was a blast.
Looking forward to seeing you again in the flesh, brother.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Hopefully they'll just like release that match or something one day. Who knows?
Who
they
knows?
should. It should be nice if they did. It was sure a hell of a match. Definitely entertaining, but
right.
Yeah, and thank you so much, bro, for everything you've done in my career, from picking me up all those times to go to training and times when I was down and out and basically homeless, living in hotels during the pandemic. You always helped me out and made sure I was taken care of, bro. So,
bro, you know I got your back always. Always.
Folks, if you're not following Syko Stu already, you need to go follow him on Facebook and on IG at Syko Stu. He's a hell of an entertainer, a hell of a person, and we really thank you for coming on. You want to know?
Thank you. This is my first podcast.
Buddy. Good seeing you again.
First podcast, Tombstone. So
my first podcast.
Nice.
Thank you so much, guys.
Hey, no worries. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you guys all for tuning in. We'll be back possibly next Saturday at the same time, but we will figure it out. You guys all take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.